So tell me what got you out here, bro?
Well, I wanted to ask a quick question to the senator. I'm already in support of him, but I seem to be the only one that has the ideas that I do, and I was trying to just get him out there.
Talk to me. Talk to
Find
me.
somebody. Well, first of all, a big part of the issues going on in my community is drugs.
Yeah.
So I always feel it's important to bring that up. And one thing that never gets brought up is that people. Well, I do have to give credit real quick. Sanjay Gupta, for NBC, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, he brought it up once. I remember.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who the doctor. I
Yeah.
don't know what he brought up. What did he bring
He
up?
brought up that over 95% of all studies on marijuana have been for the purpose of look for bad.
Exactly.
And that scientists, even to this day, are still being fired for finding good accidentally.
Yeah.
So you accidentally find good.
Really?
Yes.
God,
It happened to a
that's
scientist
crazy.
in Arizona State that I was reading
crazy.
about. And
Yeah, I think I saw a documentary where someone got like they did some research and then they took all their funding money away. Or something.
Exactly, because the purpose of the research was to find harm. So when they don't, they have to, abort, scrap it, run. We can't let this get out. But it's out. Like everyone already knows now just by trying it. Seniors are among the biggest groups of new smokers, even though smoking wouldn't be the primary medicinal use for it. But the point is that I wanted to see more senators and politicians put more money where the mouth is behind this, because they talk about supporting marijuana, support the science behind it so we can get some real facts.
Exactly, because there's so much it can do that we don't even know because we never had the money to do the research, to do proper research to find.
Even as a basic citizen, you read some of the setups that they do for these tests, and it's like, who would test like this? Yeah. This is ridiculous. You're trying to fail. Exactly. And I think that has led to so much misinformation and continuance of the drug war, which is obviously decimating a lot of communities. And of course, on top of this, though, this is the main thing, that all of the smoking weed, all of the money from that industry going on right now, all the billions of dollars being made, it's only about 3% of the total value of the plant.
Oh, really? See, and you think about it, all those people. Was a Biner? He was the Speaker of the House when Obama was there. Exactly, dog. Like they doing it, and now something that he probably wrote legislation to put niggas in jail for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. They don't even support the legislation to get them out, by the way. While they're getting rich off the same thing. But the point being, though, that the other 97% of the value of the plant is in like textiles and houses, buildings, construction materials, cement, gasolines. Really? This is where the true value of the plant is. And this is why I came to Bernie Sanders, because he is the main one talking about infrastructure. And when it comes to infrastructure, this is where the two meet. That if you would rebuild American infrastructure, if you would rebuild the American infrastructure using fossil fuels, guess what's going to happen? You're talking about building an entire nation. You know how many billions and billions of tons of pollution that would create, and not even to mention how many billions of extra dollars we're just giving them just to get it. Okay, we're going to build away from you, but we're going to pay you, to get us off of the pollutant.
Yeah, exactly.
If we rebuilt the industrial complex, if we rebuilt the American industrial complex using fossil fuels, we are already too much over the limit as far as climate change goes. It's going to turn that 12 years we have into like maybe 6 or 5.
Dog, I'm telling you, they don't give a about our current kids and great grandkids.
But we have an option, which is hemp. A lot of people don't know this, but when a plant, a lot of people know this part, that when a plant grows, it takes in CO2, cuts off the oxygen, and throws out the oxygen. It keeps the carbon. Now, if that plant would die naturally, that carbon would go back into the atmosphere. And that's kind of a carbon neutral thing.
That's kind of what it does to regulate itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if you would cut that plant and make something out of it like this floor, now that carbon is trapped in this floor. It cannot get back into climate change. It cannot get back into heating up the earth. Okay. And not only is it trapped in this floor now it's undergoing a petrification process, meaning it's going to continue to suck up carbon over its lifetime. So the longer this road exists, the more carbon it's going to absorb. The longer this building exists, the longer this bridge, the longer this American infrastructure that we built exists, the more carbon it's going to absorb. But the thing about the infrastructure, why it makes this so important, is because we need to make a massive dent in climate change. We can't do these little.
It can't be no bullshit.
Yeah, they want 15
incremental.
No. You need, what's the thing?
I mean, think about why Elon Musk took so long to come out with that. They didn't want that out.
Oh, yeah,
They don't give a.
pretty sure he's being resisted upon.
I'm surprised they ain't tried to kill him.
Well, if his technology was a little more advanced, who knows? I think I have a lot of things in my head, but basically, the whole point is that to make the biggest dent in climate change, we need to build something big enough to lock away enough carbon to make a dent. What's the only thing we're currently about to build that's big enough to do that? The U.S. infrastructure. So we can either, on the one hand, let the fossil fuel industries build it, give them all the money, let them pollute building it, or we can jumpstart this whole new industry, switching fuels, switching energy sources to a non-polluting, and not only non-polluting, it actually sucks up the pollution as it exists.
Do you have all this written down? Because
a lot of it is
we have a I don't want to say like it's something big, but we got a relationship with Nina Turner, and we always like shoot her something, because what you're saying is like something that should be considered.
I don't think you'll find this anywhere else. These are the things that I've thought about over years.
Yeah.
I do have to give props, of course, to the late great Jack Herer. He fought using the Freedom of Information Act to get the government to release the information it did already have about him.
Oh, okay.
So when you see a lot of information out there, it's because of him.
Oh, okay.
So I do have to give props to him.
Trying to keep it classified so nobody would see.
Exactly. Back then there were a real hush-hush on everything. But I really doubt you'll find anyone who thinks about it in the way that I do. Lots of people know that it has some benefits, but they usually have no idea the extent, like how this is actually. What this represents is actually the next level of energy in humankind. We start out with Stone Age, and to solve those problems, the Bronze Age solved those problems, and then the Iron Age solved those problems. The fossil fuel age we're in now, this is the age we need to be in next. It's a biodiesel, biofuel. We basically grow everything that we build, and because it's grown, it doesn't pollute. Like if you would throw something away, it would biodegrade. If you make plastic from it, the plastic won't sit there for 10,000 years. It'll biodegrade. Yeah. So you can have plastic straws and plastic bags again. Or paper. You could choose plastic or paper without feeling guilty. You could have whichever one you want. So we could actually keep our lifestyle that we have, our fast kind of throwaway lifestyle. We could keep it if it didn't pollute.
But But you gotta understand, it's about money. They don't care about what we care about.
Okay, let me tell you one thing about money. It's not having a lot of money that corrupts. For most people, it is the fear of losing that money that corrupts them. When they see something on the horizon that's going to replace them, that's going to make them irrelevant, that's going to mean we no longer need them, they're fighting to remain relevant. They're not. They don't have a superior technology to fight with.
Exactly, because this is just old. And they're trying to resist what's coming new.
Exactly. So without
like slavery, civil rights, women's rights, like all that stuff, those old try to resist it because it goes against their whole livelihood.
That's one of the best definitions I've heard for a revolution. It's when the past and the future meet for a fight.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's dead ass. I like that, because that's what it is. A revolution starts because they're like, you know what? We've had enough. I'm willing to die for it now. And then they're like, because my kids ain't gonna go through it.
The original astronomers that figured out that the sun doesn't go around us. The people who wanted to keep believing that fought them, killed them too. And this is the same thing with the marijuana industry. This is why they keep it on the same scale as cocaine and heroin and things like that, because they don't have a superior technology to fight marijuana plastic, marijuana gasoline, things like that. So they have to fight it dirty, underhandedly. But this is what most people do not know. They have no idea this is going on, that we have this energy source that we can create a whole new civilization from. I mean, if you think about it, we only built these buildings like we do because of the physical limits of the things we're building it with. We know that wood can only take this much. Cement can only take this much
pressure and all that.
Exactly. But if you had a superior resource, now you need all kind of new engineers just to think of new ways to do it and all this new stuff. Just to put it in perspective, average thing that is made from hemp compared to a fossil fuel is about 2/3 stronger and about 7 times lighter.
Wow, that's crazy.
So if you're building something,
they used to build clothes with the hemp and all that. Like they used to build, like I forgot what they used to whip people with, like back in the day.
Yeah, it makes us. It's basically what slavery was about.
Excuse me, bro. We just.
A lot of people don't know this, but they had a cotton gin for cotton. They didn't need giant men to produce cotton. They needed to produce hemp, which was way stronger than cotton. Every slave got well, not everyone, but the slaves that were doing the hemp, they got what was essentially a big comb. It was about a 1 by 1 foot piece of wood with big spikes coming out. And every slave was to smash the stalk until they combed it like horse's hair. You keep combing it. The machine that was finally able to produce hemp wasn't invented until 1937. So when slavery ended, they didn't want to pay them. So they're like, okay, we're going to go cut down this rainforest. We're going to use these plastics even though they pollute. We're going to, this is way cheaper. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Well, there's so
I love it, dog. I'm like learning so much shit right now.
That's what I mean. This is some of the things I wanted to open up because, especially to Bernie Sanders, because if we rebuild the infrastructure with fossil fuels, we're not only giving them a parting gift, like here is a few extra $1 trillion after you polluted our environment that you could just roll with. Not only are you doing that, you're also polluting as we're building it, making the climate change.
As you're doing the new infrastructure,
exactly.
You're putting more of a footprint in
in the something good, you're accidentally doing something bad, which is why I wanted to come and share this information.
Wow. Okay. Cool, man. I don't know if you couldn't get him, but look, we got a lot of people that follow us. Give us your handle, your Twitter handle, man.
I don't even know my Twitter.
You don't know which one do you be on, Instagram or Twitter?
You know what? I have to look at it right now. Oh, I think I know my Instagram one.
Go ahead.
It's CAMO_JOREL. I also have a band called Hugh Machine.
Okay.
Human and Machine. Hugh Machine.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
What type of music?
I got kind of a Punk Floyd thing.
Okay, for sure. No, that's hard. That's hard. Dog, I wish I had a step stool, man, so I can goddamn. I don't even think I've ever. No, you straight. You straight. Stand up, bro. You straight. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your heart too.
Everybody there, I really like the channel. You guys keep it up. It's not the only real news. You got TYT. You got Kalinsky.
It's the only one. You can say that. It's the only one. You right. Go ahead.
Come on. We're in this together.
First, we're doing it together for sure.
Right. To sum this all up, this whole thing.
But there ain't nobody in the field like us though. Ain't nobody in the field. Ain't nobody in the field like us. We're in the field though. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in the studio all the time pontificating. We're in the field with the people.
What I really like about you guys, though, Sync you guys pretty famous for it, but you guys tell it like it is mentality. Yeah. People really appreciate that, we don't like it when you're trying to explain something with words that, old people can't understand. Exactly. And, what's an insurgent,
You're trying to, walk around because you don't want to offend nobody. Nah, you offended me by what you did, so I'm going to offend you by what I say.
So I but the things you guys say aren't really offensive.
Of course, it's offensive to who we're going against, just because it goes against their.
But that's what I mean. It's not really offensive. They're just claiming that it is, so they don't have a proper reply. Exactly. You can't fight from a higher platform, you have to fight dirty, and that's one of those tactics. They use them all the time on Bernie and all that. I don't know who that dude was that asked that question about the people who like their private health care insurers and all that.
Oh, they asked that. Once he first, I didn't know he was going to do the speaking. Once he finished talking, I came to set up out here so I can catch people coming out. But I didn't see when he asked questions.
Guys asked Bernie, what about all the people that like their health insurance? Yeah. And it was the first time I heard Bernie answer like this. I think it was the best way he answered it so far.
What did he say?
He said that this is America. Who really likes their health insurance? Exactly. No, people like their doctors. They like their hospitals and nurses and stuff like that. But you don't hear nobody. You don't hear anybody say, "Oh, I love my health insurance." They're the ones ripping us off. That's the one. Oh, look at this bill I gotta pay. nobody loves that.
Sure. No,
that's people ask that question to make it seem like people do. Exactly. But
that's just like what Biden did. It was like what Biden did the other day with the AARP, when he tried to fearmonger and try to say, oh, if we go with Bernie's plan, there's going to be this hiatus where maybe a month, maybe a year, where people won't have insurance as we transfer the other way, which was a complete lie. And his camp tried to say, oh, that's not what he meant. He meant this. We know exactly what you were trying to do. You're trying to fearmonger, so people can be like, oh, because the people that's in the middle trying to figure out.
Break it down. With fear mongering, basically, Joe Biden is trying to delicately speak for the rich people without sounding like he's speaking for the rich people. He wants to sound like he's speaking for the rich people. But that's the way they do. They try to take a point from the rich people.
What does he stand in New York right now? Like a $7 million apartment or something?
Yeah, I know it's bigger than Bernie's. I'm pretty
it's
sure.
crazy.
But I mean, I got some respect for Joe Biden. Of course, you know, he has put in some work here and there. You know, and as a family man, you know that my condolences on what happened to his family and things like that. But come on, man, like
Yeah, for sure.
there's more
And
to
we're
life
not
than
and we're
making
not
money.
talking about his family. We're talking about his policy. You know what I'm saying? That's a
There's
different
more to
thing.
life than making money. If you're in politics to make money, please leave. Let that spot be for an engineer or a scientist or someone who's actually like prepared to help everyone.
Everyone.
The bottom line of this whole thing is called governing dynamics.
Yeah.
When people are selfish, like politicians taking money, that's worse for everyone. If you want to do what's best for everyone, then that means doing what's best for everyone. If we're both in the clothing business, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm fighting you, we're taking away each other's competition instead of working together and getting more competition overall. We're just taking money out of each other's pockets.
Yeah.
We're fighting each other instead of fighting the bigger battle.
Exactly.
This was governing dynamics.
Everybody trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, fight for crumbs and stuff.
Yeah.
If we don't realize it, we just come together. We can go against the people who's really have been lying to like poor white people to make them believe that just being white is good enough, and they fuck them as well.
Well, there's one of many subtle ways that they do it. There's many ways we could talk about it, but the fact remains true that if you want to do what's best for yourself, you need to do what's best for everybody. If you want to live if you want your country to be awesome, support education so you don't live in a country full of dumb people. You know, that's better for you, right? Not living in a country full of dumb people, right? So we educate people because that's better for me. Now I'm confident that people are educated to vote the scientifically correct way. You know, I'd feel confident that people wouldn't fall for these little word games and double talk that people will be, you know, because the lack of it. Like so doing what's best for everybody means that's what's best for you.
Exactly. I feel you, Doug. I agree with you 100%.
And that's my message. I could go on and on, but I don't want to take up all.
I appreciate you, pimp. Hey,
I want to talk to someone else.
for sure. Hey, good man. I appreciate you. And I appreciate your support. What's your when you watch us? What's your name on the comments so I can shout you out if I see you?
It's Camel Jarrell.
Okay, Camel Jarrell. I'll shout you out if I see you when he's live, man. Appreciate your support, man. Jeremy.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.